The Liberal Party Maharishi, Peter Costello, former Treasurer, the founding father of the Future Fund and the chairman of Fossil Media Group 9 Entertainment, is stepping down from the Sovereign Wealth Fund. The Public Servants Retirement Fund. What is it again? What is this Future Fund? We were reminded about the Future Fund this week because the Future Fund has an identity crisis. Is it a sovereign wealth fund? Because it was designed and legislated as a scheme to pay public servants their retirement benefits. Alas, this has not occurred. We have been paying instead through every annual budget. But we were reminded, casting our minds to it, of the Albert Tibby Cotter Bridge, which some snide critics have called the most pointless footbridge in Australia. If you've ever driven along Anzac Parade in Sydney near the footy and cricket grounds, you will have passed under the Albert Tibby Cotter Bridge. It cost $40 million of taxpayers' finest to build, but nobody uses it because it was built in the wrong place, and its design, its helical approach to the bridge, forces pedestrians to walk 440 metres to travel just 200 metres. To be fair, it is used by skateboarders because it's long and smooth and sloping, and certainly unimpeded by the presence of pedestrians. Now, the Future Fund is similar in some ways to the Albert Tibby Cotter Bridge in that it was designed for one purpose, not pedestrians, to pay retirement benefits to Australian public servants. But it has never fulfilled that purpose. It has never made a redemption. Even the Albert Tibby Cotter Bridge has from time to time entertained the presence of a pedestrian or two. No, the Future Fund billions have just kept on growing. This is an accumulation fund which has become a thing in and of itself. From around 50 billion tipped in the first year, back in Costello's Treasurer days, to around $250 billion today. No redemptions, and the billions in super payments due to all the federal public servants have come out of consolidated revenue. Yes, that's your money. But unlike the Albert Tibby Cotter Bridge in one critical aspect, the Future Fund is a colossal pile of money. And at some point, somebody may put it to use. At the moment, some 80% of that $250 billion is parked in offshore investments. So it's not deployed to build infrastructure in Australia or to pay public servants in their golden years. Some 80% of that $250 billion is parked in offshore investments. I've got 30-odd entities in the Cayman Islands. So it's not deployed to build infrastructure in Australia or to pay public servants in their golden years. Originally, the actuaries' report said, let's get to $120 billion in funds under management by 2020 and we're done. Pensions will be sorted. But 5 years ago, that's 15 years on, by 2018, we were told that the Future Fund now needed $200 billion, and we couldn't pay our pensions till we got there. Well, we're there. We're at 250. The beneficiaries are dying now. The people in the scheme only go up to 2005, and luckily the pensions are indexed for life. It's a very generous scheme, and the icing is that they can be left to the wife or the husband, no matter the funds and other trusts and other investments that they already own. This fund, the Future Fund, is therefore a gravy train. It pays up to 2% in fees to an array of managers, hedge funds and so on, double the industry norm for outside managers. It doesn't just manage internally, they pay fees to external managers. They diversify, which is the right thing to do. They diversify like a good investor around the world, and there's a cool $50 million there annually in running costs. We have an accumulation fund which is in the business of accumulating. No one has entered the scheme since 2005, and 17 years later, the taxpayer is still paying for Australian public service retirement benefits. What has happened in a branding sense is a subtle renosing. If you go on Wikipedia and on its own website, you'll find it now referring to itself as a sovereign wealth fund. Back in the day, in 2013, when we were asking the Labor government then about what it was going to do about sovereign wealth fund like Norway, they said, we were told there are thousands, there are millions of sovereign wealth funds. It's called superannuation. In other words, we're not going to have one. But now they've sort of decided to allow this to morph into a sovereign wealth fund. But the legislation has the scheme as a scheme to pay retirement benefits. It's time to take the bulls by the horn and have a debate about what really is going on with this, because sovereign wealth funds like Norway's, which is held up as the model of all global sovereign wealth funds, and like Australia, it's got a lot of oil and gas income. Unlike Australia, it actually makes the best use of it, doesn't allow foreign multinationals to siphon it offshore. But here we have a big pile of money without a purpose. Incidentally, if you look at our excellent coverage by Kim Wingeray and Daniel Bleakley on the Norway Sovereign Wealth Fund, as you can see from these charts, the vast bulk of it goes to benefit the people of Norway rather than foreign multinational coal and gas producers. So it's different in one important way. Where Australia allows foreigners to export the vast majority of its mineral wealth, even subsidising them with public subsidies on top, Norway's wealth fund is deployed for the benefit of the Norwegian people. Very old-fashioned. After all, it's only fair. They own it. Thanks for your support. Like, comment, share below. Throw us a few bucks on Patreon if you can afford it.